Om Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedanscha Prahinoti Tasmai Tamha Devamatma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prapadye. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vansharshibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Sarvopaplavarahitaha Prajnanghanaha Pratyagartho Brahmaivahamasmi Brahmaivahamasmi. Om Vedantartha Vibhasakaya Gurave Shantaya Sannyasine Nanavadi Nagendra Sanghapavaye Yogindra Vandyaya Cha Mohatvanta Divakaraya Bhagavat Padabhidham Vibhrate Tasmai Bhashyakrite Namostu Satatam Purnaya Bodhatmane. Om The dukkha or the misery, sorrow, which can be caused because of thinking that Atma is destructible, now has been clarified. So Atma is Param, and therefore there is no period of time or no segment of time in which there is absence of Atma. That is what was said earlier. Natvevaham chatunasam natvam neme janadhipaha nachaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamatah param. This is what is known. So Atma Vibhuhu Atma Nitya, and therefore the bhayam, the insecurity or the misery, the sorrow which can be caused by thinking that Atma will be destroyed in death of Bhishma and Drona. Atma, that is Bhishma and Drona, will be destroyed forever. This misconception has been cleared. So Atma is Nityaha. And Avikari also we have seen that Atma, all the modifications, vikaras, belong to the body. So also one more modification is called as death, in which the body decays and is destroyed. So destruction of the body is also one modification associated with the body. As it is, the body is getting destroyed in some cases. In the earlier cases, it gets destroyed, but is also replaced. And in furthermore, when as the age advances, what is this happening? Hold on. Hmm? As the age advances, then not only that the body modifies, but there is a it declines. There is a deterioration. All right, and that deterioration finally reaches a point wherein the body now not only deteriorates but also starts disintegration. So that point from where the disintegration of the body begins, you call it as death. Just as the body always has been getting modified, so also over here the body gets into one more modification called as death. But all these things are happening to the body, and therefore, even in the death, that which remains unaffected is the self, the indweller. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara prapti धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति. The Buddhiman Purushaha, the intelligent, the wise people, now at this point do not get confused. They are not deluded. Right, so now we know that Atma is indestructible, and therefore this dukkham, which says that I am dukhi because Atma gets destroyed, whether it gets destroyed in this body or Atma of that body gets destroyed. For that reason, there is no dukkham. But sir, separation of Atma, that this fellow, the one who is indweller of this body, is associated with another indweller of another body. So this is Arjuna, and that is Bhishma. And I love my grandfather, I love my teacher, I love my brothers, I love my children, so on and so forth, my wife, whatever, and then so on and so forth. Now my insecurity and dukkham is that I will be parting from them. And therefore, now even it was told that Atma is one and therefore cannot be even parted. And therefore, even this area, this reason for dukkham, that I will be separated, huh? Cannot, that from the one Atma getting separated from another Atma is also not there, because Atma is one. When this was being told, when this is told in the sense, it gets implied and concluded. So when this is what we come to understand from Sri Krishna's teaching, then immediately the Nayayikas, Vaisheshikas, Mimamsakas, all of them will pounce. And what are they going to say? Well, Atma is Nitya. We accept it. Atma is Vibhu, pervasive. That is also acceptable. But Atma is one is not acceptable, is not acceptable. Otherwise, how are we going to even justify sukha dukkha, the joys and sorrows, pleasure and pain per person? That belongs to the Atma, and therefore there are different Atmas according to them. We had seen this in last 2 or 3 classes. So Now, what is the point where there is a disagreement? The disagreement is because we are able to see Sukha and Dukkha, which belongs to Atma. And therefore, different Atmas have their own set of Sukha and Dukkha. Sukha means joys, and Dukkha means pain or unpleasantness or misery, sorrow, grief. This is Dukkha, right? So each Atma has got its own set of Sukha and Dukkha. That goes to say, prove we are going to use this as an evidence to substantiate our conclusion that Atma is different per head. Pratipurusha, it is going to be different. And therefore, what is the flip side of this coin? The flip side is that Atma is not one. Okay. Now, since Atma is not one, and there are different Purushas, in the sense different Atmas, many multiplicity of Atma, one getting associated with another, and then the other fellow getting disassociated from the first one, this game will continue. And that continuation means I have a reason to say why I am becoming Dukhi, because I do not want this fellow to be associated with me and I'm getting associated with him. And I do not want to be disassociated from Bhishma Drona. I am getting disassociated from them. So I have a justified reason for Dukkham. So by knowing Atma is Nityam, the Dukkham is partially healed. But that is not sufficient, because still Atma is different. And that means there is space to justify sorrow. Okay. Do you get that point? So what is the bone of contention over here? That the Sukha Dukkha is being used as the reason for multiplicity of Atma. And multiplicity of Atma means continuation of Dukkham. Okay, you understand now? Multiplicity of Atma also means there is continuation of Dukkham. But this very set of Sukha Dukkham per head is being used as an evidence to prove Atma is multiple. Do you see this whole problem? Now, we have to look at this problem, and the solution is in understanding that the Sukha and Dukkha does not belong to Atma. And then to whom? Because it is there. Unless and until it is there, it is not. How can it be experienced? So for the very reason that it is seen, it is experienced, we have to say that it should have a location. Then what is the location? Where is the Sukha and Dukkha if not in Atma? Because we have concluded that it is who we, the Purva Paksha, has concluded that the location of Sukha and Dukkha is the self, because we have the experience. Aham Sukhi, Aham Dukhi. I am happy, I am not happy, or I am sad. So where is the happiness? In I. Where is the sadness located? In I. Okay. And that is what makes I as sad or happy. Like we will say there is a red rose and there is a yellow rose. Okay. Then where is the redness and what is the location of the yellowness? Yellow color, red color. Oh, in this case, we will say the red color is located in the rose number A, and rose B has yellow color located in it. So what is the location of these two colors? The roses, A and B. Correct? That makes the rose red rose, and that is the reason what makes the rose B as yellow rose. Like that, I am Sukhi, I am Dukhi is said, I am happy, I am sad, because this happiness and this sadness is located in Atma. This is the reason they are using, they means the Purva Paksha is using to say Atma is different. And then what is the consequence of still holding on to the idea that Atma is different? Continuity of Dukkham. Don't forget that. Let the analysis go right up to that point. Because the reason why we are doing this analysis, this Mimamsa, is because we want annihilation of Dukkham. And the Dukkham is completely eradicated only in knowing the self. That's why we are dealing now with wanting to know what is the true nature of the self, wherein the Dukkham is absolutely, totally, completely eradicated. Got it? That's why we are analyzing it. So now, therefore, Madhusudan Saraswati says, in order to have this viveka, which viveka? Which viveka? The linga sharira vivekaya. In order to know this viveka between Atma and the subtle body. Just as what we have this gross body, the physical body, Annamaya Kosha, like that there is this subtle body, which we are going to call as the Linga Deha. Okay? I understand. Antakaranam, in short. In order to have this discrimination, and because we do not have a proper discrimination of Atma and the Linga Deha, we have this problem of still having the misconception, making the error of saying Atma is many. There are many Atmas are many. And therefore, though Atma is Nitya, though Atma is Vibhu, yet Atma is not one, because many. And therefore, Atma is not Anantam, Ekam, and hence is not Brahman. This is the conclusion of whose conclusion? Purva Paksha. Whose conclusion is that? Purva Paksha, the opponent. Remember this. Now this is to be answered. How does Bhagavan Krishna initiate this? He says, 14 number shloka, Matra sparshastu kaunteya. Matra sparshastu kaunteya. Shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha. Shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha. Agama payino nityaha. Agama payino nityaha. Tan stitikshasva bharata. Tan stitikshasva bharata. O Kaunteya, O son of Kunti. O Kaunteya, contact of the sense organs with the world, which world means in the sense all the Shabda Sparsha, etc. Matra, with the world, it gives rise to what? to the experiences of heat and cold with the polarities, sukha and dukkha, which is of the nature, whose nature is to come and to leave, to go. Okay, and therefore it is not constant. So, hey Kaunteya, endure it. O Bharata, endure it. So Arjuna has been addressed with these two epithets, Kaunteya and Bharata. Madhusudan Saraswati at the end of his commentary says, using that Kaunteya and Bharata has got one reason, and that is because Kaunteya and Bharateti Sambodhanadvayena Ubhayakula Vishuddhasya Tattvajnanam Tava Ajnanam Anuchitam. Now, because you are born from this mother and also from a father who have been brilliant and great people, now for you to anyway justify ignorance, to keep wallowing in ignorance is not befitting, is not becoming of you, because you were born to these great parents. Okay, you're and actually he does not just mean the mother and father, but he says Ubhaya Kula Vishuddhasya. Now remember, this is thoda prasangantar hoga. It will be going out of the topic a little bit, but nevertheless, we have time. If Shri Krishna could have time on the battlefield to give Arjuna the Bhagavad Gita, which is consisting of 700 verses, even after the conches were blown, why should we say that we are in a hurry? Let us go. Shri Krishna is not in a hurry. He says that, okay, the battle can wait. Bhishma and Drona can, if their legs are hurting, they can sit down in their chariots. But here, this is important. So over here, he says, Ubhaya Kula Vishuddhasya. He says that you are born from both the sources which have been pure for generations together. For generations together. That is one suggestion to say that even for any Brahmajnani to be born in any kula, any lineage of the family, it is the tapasya, it is the austerity of 7 generations from the mother's side, from the father's side, that they have lived a austere, righteous life, a life of principle. And therefore, because of the tapasya that these generations have lived, now it is right for the Brahmajnani to arrive in that particular family lineage. That is one thing. So, Ubhaya Kula Vishuddhasya, and we know that the generations of your ancestors right up to your mother, and generations of those ancestors of your father till Pandu, all of them have lived a very ideal life. Okay, uncompromising on their principles of righteousness. Though they may have faced hardships, but they never gave up on the principles that they stood for. So, Ubhayakul, now, when this is the sacrifices that your people have they made so that here in our generation we will have people who will be then wallowing in the ignorance and in misery, Is that the reason for which they lived such principled life? No. Therefore, tava ajnanam anuchitam. Therefore, Arjuna, to keep on justifying and wallowing in this ignorance, not giving up the ignorance, is not yogyam, is not, what do they call, uchitam, means is not befitting, becoming of you. Okay, now, therefore, Shri Krishna has that suggestion according to Madhusudan Saraswati for the reason that Bhagavan Krishna uses these two epithets, one as the son of this mother and one as the son of such a father, Bharata and Kaunteya. Okay, so how is the shloka? Matra sparshastu Kaunteya Shitoshna Sukhadukhadaha Agama Payino Nityaha Tanstitikshasva Bharata. Now, if you have understood the very intent of initiating this discussion is because that Atma is Ekam, and there is not multiplicity of Atma, has to be this multiplicity of Atma has to be negated, refuted. Then what is the other thing? This Atma is not understood as one because there is, and multiplicity of Atmas is taken as a fact because of the Sukha Dukkhas are going to be different in every location, that is in Atma. So now we have the responsibility of showing the location of Sukha and Dukkha is not in Atma, but where is it? In somewhere else. So now this discrimination, and that discrimination is that Dukkham, Sukha Dukkha, etc., pleasure and pain, etc., is where? In the Antakaranam, in the Linga Sharira, in the subtle body, whereas Atma is the illuminator, the witness, unaffected, that illumines this Linga Sharira too. So we have to see that. Linga Sharira Vivekaya Aha. Matra Sparshaha. The word is, we will begin by going through every word of the verse. Matra Sparsha. So if you have understood the entire meaning of the shloka, it's prelude. Now we are progressing further. Matra Sparsha. It is a compound word. Matra and Sparsha. What is Matra? What is Sparsha? Here says, Matra means miyante abhihi. That through which the Vishayas, the objects are known. Miyante actually measured. Miyante abhihi Vishayaha iti matraha. Now what the objects are known. Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha, that is known. And if it is known, why don't we just start this fan and that light? If it is known, all the world of sounds, the world of tactual perception, the world of all this world is known to us, then it is known through what? So through, of course, that whatever it is known through is called as matra, because miyante iti matra. So then what is this matra? Obviously that matra means indriyaha. What does that matra mean? Indriyani, not indriyaha, it is indriyani, it is napumsakalinga. Indriyani, indriyani. Ani means not, some Sindhi fellow. Indriyani is a plural of indriyam. Okay? Indriyani tasam sparshaha vishayaihi sambandhaha Now, the contact, sparsha means contact. Sparsha means contact. The contact of the indriyas with the object. That contact means it is some sort of touch. So, sparsha. So, sparsha, not only that, when your skin touches something, that only is touch. Your eyes coming in contact with colors and forms, the auditory faculty coming in contact with the world of sounds. These are all contacts only. What are you contacting? The world. And therefore, tasam sparshaha vishayaihi sambandhaha, coming in contact with the world is called as sparsha. So now, what is matra sparshaha? The contact of the indriyas with the world. What is the meaning of the word matra sparsha? Contact of the indriyas with the world. Or the other one more understanding of the word matra sparshaha means that which is contacted by the indriyas. What is contacted by the indriyas? The objects. So now, one meaning that is allowed by this word matra sparsha is the contact of the indriyas with the world. Okay, with the objects. So it means the contact. What is the meaning of matra sparsha? The contact. Okay. The other meaning which is now allowed by the word, the understanding which is developed by this word is that which is contacted by the indriyas. What is contacted by the indriyas? The objects. So the meaning number A is the contact, and meaning number 2 is the objects. Okay. So over here, both are acceptable because the word allows you to understand itself as this. So matra sparsha tattad vishayakara antakarana parinamaha. Now, when do you say that you know this world? That even if your eyes are coming in contact with the objects, it should also create an appropriate registration in the mind. So a thought form has to be created. So sometimes, your eyes are open and your vision is also 6x6. Not that you have any problem in the eyes. Your vision is 6x6 and you are sitting in broad daylight, lunchtime, and then your friend just you're gobbling up whatever that you could get in the lunchtime, in the food court or somewhere, and then a friend of yours just happens to pass by, and then he sees you eating, but he is in a hurry. So from a little distance, he just waves out to you, saying, "Hey, hi." And he goes, but then your eyes are open and they are looking through, but you did not see the friend. Why did you not see the friend? Though why? Because that this contact has yet not been able to create a thought form. So ultimately, when will that become your experience? When the indriyas, when these indriyas come in contact with the world, and then its final culmination is in forming a thought form. So antakarana parinama, tattad vishayakara antakarana parinamaha. Now, whatever this is, whether it is you call matra sparshas as the objects or you call it as the contact with the objects, that itself, how is it? Tasam sparsha te agama payinha. How are they? Agama payi. Agama payi means utpatti vinashavataha. Te agama payi. they are agamapayino. Huh? So they are something that comes and that parts, something which comes and that goes. Huh? So it comes and it goes, it is born and it is destroyed. Utpatti vinashvataha antakaranasya eva. And therefore, where is all this happening? Huh? This is happening in the mind, in the antakaranam, and this antakaranam means the inner equipment. Okay, just as you have the external equipments to contact the world is all one is able to see the world, experience the world also because of the inner equipment. And that inner equipment we are calling as antakaranam, the mind. Okay, antakaranasya shitoshnadi dwara sukhadukhadaha, and all this, the contact with the world is seen as this polarities between this heat and cold, which means from being hot to being cold. Everything that can sit in this entire, what do they call, range, the continuum, the continuum. Okay, Shitoshnadi Dwara Sukhadukhadaha, and it is responsible for generating, therefore, what the next thing is Sukham and Dukkham, pleasure and pain, joy and sorrow. Okay, Sukhadukhadaha. Where is it located again? The contact in the Antakaranam, and that which is the response of to the stimuli which is received by us. Response of the mind is in terms of sukham and dukkham. Okay, where is it? In the mind itself. So the claim that the sukha and dukkha is located in Atma is now being refuted, because we have systematically shown you that the location of the sukha and dukkha is right in your mind and not in the self. And therefore, you saying that aham sukhi, aham dukhi is not a fact, but it is only due to error. It is an erroneous knowledge, brahmaha, and therefore this brahma cannot be used to substantiate, cannot be used as a reason to substantiate the multiplicity of Atma, and therefore Atma is one, remains unrefuted, and hence Atma is Brahman. This will be the, we will have to reach over there. Okay, teha natu nityasya vibhoho atmanaha tasya nirgunatvat nirvikaratvat cha. But sir, why are you saying that Atma is not affected and it doesn't belong to Atma? Because all these schools, whether it is the Vaisheshikas or even the Sankhyas, according to them also, how is Atma? Free from all attributes. Nirgunaha, free from all attributes. All the attributes belong to the body mind complex. I'm a man, I'm a woman. What are you talking about? The body. But it is understood as being talking about I. Beautiful and ugly, old and young, tall and short, about the body. Dark and fair, about the body. Robust and weak, about the body. Intelligent and dull-witted, about the mind. Happy and sad, the mind, the psychology. It is not talking about I. You see? But what do we take it for granted as? As being something spoken about the I, about the self. and therefore it is an error. Why are we taking the qualities, attributes which belong to the mind and the body as the attributes of the self? Because we do not have the discrimination, we do not understand this body mind concept with all its attributes, and the self as free from the attributes. The self does not have any attributes of the body mind complex, nor does it have any attributes of itself, any intrinsic attributes. Is free from all attributes, and therefore is the illuminator of all the attributes, the very witness, and therefore nirgunaha is nirgunaha. Nirguna means bereft of all attributes. What is nirguna? Bereft, not. Okay, all right. Somebody else. All right, no worries. Sure. So, bereft of all attributes. Therefore, now nirgunatvat, and then another thing, another reason why this sukha dukkha does not belong to Atma is nirvikaratvat, because the Atma is not something which modifies, and therefore sukha and dukkha are modifications. In the morning, you are very happy. By breakfast time, somebody already has started irritating you. By lunch, that fellow has already irritated you sufficiently. And by evening, you are ready to burst like a volcano. You see, now what happened to that sukham at the breakfast time, and by dinner, you are already erupting? Yeah, it has changed. Your sukham has modified. So this is modification. So how is Atma? Nirvikaraha, free from modification. Nirvikaraha. Then where are these modifications belonging? They will belong to that which can modify. The I, the self, has never modified. What undergoes modification, changes, transformation is this body-mind concept, complex. And therefore, even this sukha and dukkha belongs to this body-mind complex. Nirvikaratvacha. Nahi nityasya nityadharmashrayatvam sambhavati. Therefore, now, one more thing to be understood. He is just giving you, reinforcing you with more reason, so that you do not turn back and say, oh, but then I didn't understand. If this reason is not yet well grasped by you, take one more. And if you have understood the first reason, the second reason will reinforce and make you strong, because that is how the conclusion has to be. Okay, certainty has to be there. When there is certainty, because knowledge will have certainty. Foolish people are also very, very confident. But that confidence of foolishness and confidence of knowledge are two different, right? So there is this fool, and then he says, oh, 2 + 2 is 5. I know. And he is very adamant also. He comes very vehemently in his arguments also. And he says that if you are not going to take it, I will punch your face. He has got that much confidence when he has that foolishness. So foolishness gives confidence. Well, there is no doubt. So also knowledge gives confidence. And when knowledge gives confidence, it gives ability to refute that what is erroneous. It does not give you the impetus to cause any injustice or cause any kind of violence. It simply gives you the patience, the strength to remove the error, because error means there is some sort of intellectual discrepancy. That's it. Then that needs to be removed. That gap needs to be filled, cemented. That's why. Now, what furthermore? Nahi nityasya anitya dharmashrayatvam sambhavati. Now, all these sukha dukkha, etc., if you say, are the attributes and qualities that belong to Atma, then there is going to be one problem. And who is now talking? This is Siddhanta is explaining. What is the problem? That these dharmas, these attributes, these properties cannot belong to that what is nitya, permanent. So impermanent attributes cannot be. Impermanent attributes cannot be the intrinsic properties of that what is permanent. Because if it is intrinsic and if it is impermanent, then that itself will make that substance impermanent. Then how can you call it permanent? And therefore, nityasya anitya dharmashrayatvam na sambhavati. It is not possible for the nitya to be the ashraya of anitya dharmas. So these anitya dharmas will belong to something that is anitya only, that which is impermanent only. So Atma is nitya, and the antakaranam, etc., is anitya. And therefore, sukha and dukkha are not located in Atma, but are located in antakaranam. Since this is the case, now you cannot say that because of sukha and dukkha, we have multiplicity of Atma. No. You can say multiplicity of antakaranas. Okay, fine. Understood. But you cannot say multiplicity of Atma. Okay. Na sambhavati dharma dharminoho abhedat sambandhantara anupapattehe. There is more to it to understand, but I'm just going to leave it over here because, though not very difficult, but small doses is enough. It will happen, it will come eventually somewhere or the other. Sakshasya sakshi dharmatva anupapattehe. Now, another reason that is there is because that what is witnessed is, or that what is seen, is not the seer. The seer sees the object. Therefore, sakshasya sakshi dharmatvam anupapattehe. So that what is sakshya, that what is seen, belongs to the category of drishya, belongs to the category of that what is seen, and it does not belong to the seer. Okay? So if you see a fragrant rose, you don't become fragrant. If you see a red rose, you don't become red. As simple as that. So even if there are sukha and dukkha, the sukha dukkha belongs to the antakaranam. That does not make you Atma as sukhi and dukhi. Thus, not only that it does not make you sukhi and dukhi, now this cannot be the reason even to say Atma is many, and therefore Atma is one. And this Atma is therefore Nitya, Vibhu, and Ekaha. And therefore, for the Atma, there cannot be any reason for dukkham. Okay? The Atma cannot be the reason for dukkha. Cannot be. Okay. And therefore, now, अतः वैशेषिकादयो भ्रान्त्या एव आत्मनः विकारित्वं भेदं च अंगीकृतवन्तः. And therefore, all these claims, even made by the schools of logicians, etc., are erroneous ones. Titikshasva, and therefore what? Na mamayete, they do not belong to me. Sukha and dukkha. Na mamayete kinchit karaha, they don't make any difference to me. Iti vivekena upekshasva. Therefore, what? Neglect them. Upekshasva. Dukkhatādatmena dhyāsena. Dukkhatādatmya dhyāsena atmanam dukkhinam māshyāsi. Titikshasva means endure. And what is meant by endurance? Oh, I'm helpless and I just have to endure. No, that is not the idea. What is it? Namamete kinchit karaha. Their coming and going does not, they are something that comes and goes. And by their coming and going, it does not even create a small dent on me. And therefore, vivekena upekshasva. This is vivekena upekshasva. Therefore, don't create a big drama about it. And so, dukkhatādatmya dhyāsena atmanam dukkhinam māshyāsi. Therefore, not getting identified with it is what is called as upeksha. And then, by getting identified, I am dukkhi, I am sukhi, such kind of claims are made. Now, don't do that. That is what is meant by titikshasva. And therefore, in order to have this fortitude and this courage, Bhagavan Shri Krishna reminds him that you are born from a great mother and a great father. Remember that. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Thank you, friends. Thank you very much.